Streetlight is a nonprofit organization established to help the poor and homeless in our community. Over the years, as this ministry has grown, God has enriched my life so much as I have watched miracle after miracle unfold as God's love transforms the lives of the people we serve. Good evening. My name is Rose Powers, and I am the Executive Director of Streetlight Community Outreach Ministries. This ministry is all about sharing God's love for the lost and broken and His compassion for people who are destitute and hurting. Since we incorporated Streetlight in 2004, we have been blessed to be able to provide hundreds of homeless families and individuals housing, shelter, financial assistance for crisis needs, and groceries. But during the last year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the need in our community has escalated beyond anything we could have ever imagined. So many lives were just devastated during the pandemic, especially the lower income families who work jobs such as retail, childcare, home health aides, maids, and restaurant servers. When stores and restaurants shut down, the employees lost their jobs. They could not work from home. I always say the poor pay a higher price for everything. When someone is barely earning enough to make ends meet each month, they are not prepared for crisis. Just for example, should I get a driving ticket, I would just pay the ticket and the problem is solved. On the other hand, many poor families or individuals will have to choose whether or not they will pay for that ticket or pay the utility bill that month. If it is in the dead of the winter, they may choose to pay the utility bill. That choice can lead them to ultimately losing their driver's license, and then they have no way to get back and forth to work, jeopardizing their jobs. It can be a vicious downward cycle. When people were laid off during the pandemic, many of them had no cash reserves and consequently no way to support themselves. They didn't have any income and they didn't even have enough money for food. To meet that need, Streetlight never shut down during the pandemic. Realizing that people needed help with food more than ever, we restructured our food pantry to allow for curbside food pickup. The number of people who came to our food pantry tripled during 2020. Additionally, many families were facing eviction from their homes. To ensure that families remained stable even after the rent moratorium lifted, Streetlight paid multiple months of back rent for families who had lost their jobs due to the pandemic. We were also able to help families and individuals who actually did lose their homes during the pandemic to restabilize quickly by providing first month's rent and security deposit. It is so rewarding to see the joy on someone's face when they get the keys to their new apartment, or the relief on a young mother's face when she is assured that she will not lose her home.
Housing is a basic need that plays an important role in individuals' well-being, health, safety, and quality of life. Streetlight owns 3 houses and 6 apartments to house homeless adults, male and female, including the medical fragile, disabled, and chronically homeless. These housing options allow us to provide a safe environment for 27 individuals. We are also so proud to announce that we just recently transitioned from the Falasso shelter to operate the supportive shelter. We are still in partnership with the Department of Social Services to operate this smaller setting for 8 individuals who are medically fragile or disabled. We are back at the old overnight shelter location by the PRTC, but thankfully with a much smaller group. The facility was renovated to accommodate 8 beds with partitions to practice safe distancing, a kitchen area, showers, comfortable lounge room with TV, office area. Our goal is to fill the gap of interim housing for individuals that suffer from medical conditions or mental health. Many times they fall through the cracks because permanent housing is not available or they are not well enough to move into an apartment just yet. We are also faced with situations where independent living might not be achievable and the process for assisted living or nursing home has to be started. In the meantime, Streetlight provides a safe environment and the wraparound services needed. Our case managers provide intensive and individualized assistance to ensure the needs and goals are met. At the shelter level, permanent housing is always the main goal. We meet a person on a regular basis. How often the meetings depends on the needs and goals. The case manager works from a strength-based approach. The strength-based approach is focusing on a positive attribute of a person or a group rather than the negative ones. And this relationship is hope-inducing. The goal is for a person to see themselves at their best in order to see the value by just being them. This is exactly how our Heavenly Father sees us. Psalm 139:14 says, "I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made." When God created the world, He said in Genesis 1:31, "And God saw everything that He has made, and behold, it was very good." As Christians, we are all to be Christ's ambassadors to help bring forth God's purpose and promises in the individuals we have the privilege of accompanying on their life's journey. Thank you so much, and thank you for your love and your support.
My name's Steve Lamberti. I work for the Streetlight organization, helping the homeless. I was living in the woods for several months in 2019 until I met Rose Powers, and she helped me get a place and a job. Streetlight is giving me first month's rent and first month's security deposit to get into a place. That first month's deposit and security deposit and the rent meant the world to me. It gave me hope and to get on my feet and start applying myself. It brings me joy to help other people that are homeless and see if they have hope in their eyes, give them hope that if I can do it, they can do it also. We bring food to them, we bring propane to them in the winter months. We pick them up and we take them to our church. We feed them there also on Wednesday nights. During the pandemic, it's been a little harder, but we've been doing our job, wearing our masks, and still delivering the propane and the food necessary to help people. We don't slow down. We just keep helping people and doing the best to give them hope. I heard a lot about building the Hope Center, and it's a project that we hope to get underway to house homeless in the Woodbridge area.
It's been a year of crisis, but for the homeless, the crisis will not end when COVID-19 is no longer a threat. Once someone becomes homeless, they typically become trapped with no way out unless someone reaches out to help them. So many of the homeless suffer with debilitating disease or disabilities, and even if they do receive Social Security benefits, it is usually never enough to pay rent. As many of you know, Streetlight's long-term goal is to build Hope Center. We envision Hope Center as an upscale apartment-style facility that will offer efficiency apartments, case management, and supportive services for the homeless. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I was amazed at how the community rallied to help people in need. But we need to rally again to raise the money to bring an end to the homeless crisis literally in the backyard of our own community. We need to come together to work on behalf of the men and women and children living in the woods or in their cars who have no home. I hope you will partner with Streetlight to help us continue our work and to build Hope Center.